Welcome to the Associated Guests. I am, as always, your host, Alfie Animus, here at the Bear in Mind channel. Today, big things going down in Iran, sorry. Old habits. Yeah, looks like they might be liberating themselves after years and years of this whole terrorist, fascistic regime they've had. And Tim Waltz will no longer be governor of Minnesota, one of the worst states in history. Let's be honest. Even if you're from Minnesota, I know plenty of people who have moved away from there. There's got to be a reason. Whoops. Okay. That being said, let's get into it with Lord Nuxenor.
Good morning, everyone. Iran fell apart overnight. I don't know how this keeps happening, but it's almost like we keep waiting. What is going on? 2026, less than a week into this new year, and literally, all of the tards are collapsing. It's diabolical. So first I have to show you what Trump said. They captured some of his audio on Air Force One.
Very closely. If they start killing people like they have in the past, I think they're going to get hit very hard by the United States.
Oh! Now listen, I'm not a guy that's sitting here hoping and coping for United States involvement in Iran, but I am happy that the Iranian mullahs, right, the Islamic regime that's currently running Iran, is absolutely terrified. I do like that a lot. Just to make it clear, I do like that immensely. Bro, this is like...
And I'm pretty sure he shows clips of this, but yeah. Protesters and revolutionaries in Iran have the doulas running in the streets.
Unbelievable amounts of winning that's going on. Now, scarily enough, Lindsey Graham, he's like the known warmonger of the Republican Party. He's out there directly talking about bombing the shit out of everyone at this point.
Iran. So I pray and hope that 2026 will be the year that we make Iran great again.
Make Iran.
And skipping past this guy's face, he looks like Dobby wished to become human. My God, he is. Those are definitely facial features. Anyway, remember when Lindsey Graham was the most milquetoast Republican in Congress until Trump's era? I miss when no one knew who this person was. He's definitely the old Republicans that you remember not liking very much back in the day.
Persia again. It's happening in real time. So yeah, so a lot of terrorists are very unhappy about all this. Obviously, you got leftoids in the streets crying, "No, leave my dictator, the Islamic terrorists alone." You know, out there crying. But the reality is, so I do believe that, you know, United States threats are helping. Otherwise, Iran would have already been murdering all of their people. Let's be real.
And let's be real. When it comes to the Venezuela situation, I can completely understand, okay, coming from the argument that this isn't something that the U.S. should have done, and the question of international laws that may or may have not been broken. I can understand that argument. What I can understand is all these protests that popped up overnight demanding the release of Maduro. And a few people even calling him innocent or what's it, I can't remember the term that was used, but basically calling him the rightful leader of Venezuela, when everyone who pays attention to everything knows that he did not win the last election. I can't remember the name of the lady who actually won, but it's not the one who's vice president right now. I'll tell you that right now. Or acting president after he's been abducted in the night. Can you hear the screaming?
Real. They would already be doing that. So United States threats are absolutely helping, putting pressure on the retards to prevent them from killing their own guys. That's one. Two, because no one wants to fuck with the United States, literally, especially under Trump, because this guy literally, he goes out there, "Hey everyone, I went and I decided to capture myself one El Presidente. I decided to take an El Presidente home with me today. I went to Venezuela. I went there, and I was like, wow, he's retarded. And I took in El Presidente, and there could be more to follow. Who knows? Maybe Marco Rubio will become the new dictator of Venezuela and the Shah of Iran. I didn't...
And there are people who actually believe this, that they're going to make Marco Rubio the new stand-in president, El Presidente of Venezuela. Delulu land.
Say it. They said it. They say that you can get one El
That being said, if it does happen, I will eat my words.
Presidente for free once a month. And the reality is, obviously the Iranians are terrified because last time America was anywhere near Iran, they lost half their fucking mountains. All right, the B-2 bombers literally just obliterated their entire day. So now the reality is they're scared. So they don't want to fight back. Israel has been slightly nudging Iran with like slight little cyber attacks. They allegedly they were turning off cameras and they weren't letting the Iranian regime actually find out which protesters are which. So apparently they've been annoying, but for the most part, this has been purely done on the ground. The protesters are directly doing this. The Israel War Room has been absolutely terrifying these bastards. All right, you don't understand. So this is the Israel War Room official Twitter account. Breaking! Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps apart. Yikes, dude. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. So the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps is the IRGC, which is the Iranian Islamic regime military.
Is this the actual
They are
people?
actually breaking in real time. It's actually pretty insane. Got him. Elon Musk got involved. So Khamenei, this is the Twitter account of the supreme leader of the retards, right? In Iran, not the.
Yes, Stewart Cosmopolitan. I would like many viewers, and kudos to you for having a bot farm that I've never heard of, Bot Sister. But no thanks. I appreciate it, but I'm good, man. If I could afford to pay for it, we might have a conversation, but probably not still.
Persian people, but the Islamic terrorist dictatorship regime, we will not give in. Elon Musk responds with gobbledygook over here, as you can see. The translation is, what a vain hope. What a vain hope. Bro, you're going to get obliterated. Right now, Elon is being celebrated just for this tweet in Iran.
Yo.
The Persian uprising are championing this man. As you can see, he ratioed him by 5 times. Elon hits him with some Elon Riz. So now, crazy reports came in, and this is how you know it's over, for the record. I told you, 2026, year of the Great Crusade. Everyone's taking their country back. Make Iran Persia again, for real, for real. You don't understand. If Iran ends up getting overthrown, the Islamic regime gets overthrown, which it looks like it is, I'm not going to lie. If it happens, then Iran will become a superpower in the region that is also an ally of the United States. I don't think people are realizing.
This would be amazing. Look, I don't agree with a lot of interventionism. I don't necessarily agree. I mean, Trump did warn Maduro. Let's be honest. And I don't like, was it Colombia that we seem to be poking at the current moment? They are a bit of a bigger deal when it comes to the narco-terrorist groups. But when it comes to Iran, the people taking their own country back, it's a beautiful thing. Hopefully, it goes a lot better than some of these situations do. Hopefully, we've learned from history. I don't know what their history classes look like there. I'm sure that's probably reductionary. I'm sure they've left out a lot being run by the Ayatollah. But, you want people to have the freedoms that you do, and maybe even a bit more. Would I love to see someplace edge America out as the best country with flaws? Obviously, no one's saying. Well, I'm not saying that America's perfect by any stretch of the imagination. We have many, many, many flaws. But as far as living actual freedom goes, I mean, you look around, especially Europe, Australia right now. People are getting arrested for social media posts, and not even anything threatening, just calling their leadership retards. I know Germany, they love going out and getting the people in the middle of the night. Yeah, Yeah, it's good.
Realizing how insane this is going to be. An intelligence report cited by the Times says Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has prepared a contingency
shapeshifter.
plan
Yeah,
to
right.
leave
I love
Tehran,
Nux.
potentially heading to Moscow if unrest spreads nationwide.
Blue
Spoilers,
Voldemort.
Unrest spread nationwide. He's literally talking about his plan to flee to Moscow. So first of all, how do we have this intelligence? Let's be real. We all know how we have this intelligence. I'm not going to say it out loud, but we all know the Jews control the media. So the fact is, I'm not going to say who controls the media.
The
I'm not going
Jews?
to say the ethnicity of the people that control the media. It was the Jewish media. Anyway, so bro is about to flee. He's leaving at record
I mean, he
pace.
can say that, right? He's
Bro
Jewish.
wants to run away, run to Russia. Dude, it's a bad day to be an ally.
I mean,
of
I'll say
Putin.
it.
I feel like Putin didn't want to make peace with Ukraine, so Trump was like, Putin, fuck you. All of your friends, they're all gonna die. All of your friends, they're all going away. I will capture one El Presidente every week. Every week we will have a new El Presidente that we will take from their dictatorship. They don't have nukes. You have nukes. We don't want to get involved, but they don't have nukes. And every El Presidente that works with you is gonna end up in a fucking prison. Oh my God, it's actually crazy that this is happening in real time. Breaking, Iran enters its 8th night of national protests against the regime and armed citizens
Oh, we're gonna
take
show
to
some
the
of it?
streets.
Hell yeah, have you seen some of these
43%
clips?
Supreme leader loses power this year. This is an old post. Obviously, it's like a day old. Since this came out, it's at like 70% chance.
Yeah.
You don't understand. You don't understand. Putin means gay in Spanish.
It's crazy how, because poly market's like betting, right? It's like stocks for bets or some shit. But how accurate they've been just based on, predictions or what people would put their money on. How accurate a lot of this crap is. It's insane. But hopefully they'll play this.
Did
He'll
you
play
hear
this
that?
video.
Did you hear that, Vladimir? So anyway, this is wild. And I love how people are like, why are they protesting? I don't know. Because they're Persian people that are conquered by an Islamic radical terrorist regime that's fucking evil and atrocious and oppressive. I don't know, man. Maybe something of that sort. So Khamenei has escape plan to Moscow amid Iran protests. The contingency move involves Khamenei, 86, escaping with up to 20 aides and family members, modeled after Assad's flight to Moscow, amid unrest sparked by the inflation and shopkeepers' strike on 28th of December that spread to 23 provinces. 23 provinces. Rights group report 16 deaths, including 3 in the Elam province, where forces fired on crowds and raided a hospital to arrest injured protesters. I will show that to you soon. The regime strain includes a video of masked officer burning Khamenei's portrait, while officials admit privately they are in survival mode. And President-elect Trump warns against further killings. I don't know why they call him President-elect, but President Trump refuses that. So, dude, I'm still shocked, man. Israel decided to open up an Israeli Persian Twitter account where they're just like, they're just straight up talking to these guys. Like, everyone's pretty happy about this, except images of the attack by mercenaries of the Islamic Republic on the hospital in Elam, published on social media. Where are the human rights defenders? Why is no voice being heard? They literally stormed into hospitals. They literally stormed into hospitals to murder protesters. Do you understand this? Do you understand how insane this is? I can't even, fathom this. It's literally the most shocking thing in the world. And obviously, the entire UN is calling for the stop of the protests, right? And the leftists are fighting for the sake of the regime, obviously. Now, Iran protests enter the 8th day with calls for regime change. It's diabolical. Demonstrations spread up to 26 of Iran's 31 provinces. Oh my God. Oh my God.
That's
26
crazy.
out of
What's
31
going on in those other 5?
provinces are engulfed in this crap, dude. Driven by a rial at 1.4 million to the dollar, inflation over 50%. Also, all the money that they do have isn't going to give them water. A lot of people don't know this. There's an issue with water in Iran. They can't drink there because they have no water. But they have millions of dollars to fund terrorists and drug dealers in Venezuela and terrorists in the Middle East. So it's a good thing they have that. So that's...
See, and that blows my mind that a lot of these countries can't afford to feed their people. And then even what's another popular one? Saudi Arabia, a very wealthy one where a lot of comedians just went and did a comedy show for the royalty, the elites in Saudi Arabia. By the way, Saudi Arabia still has slavery is a real big thing in Saudi Arabia, and I'm pretty sure also honor killings. Not a great place. Where the top, like everything that people view America as, that's Saudi Arabia. People, most of the population's forced to live in squalor, while the base few basically live in their own little, no, I don't want to say Taj Mahals because that's Indian, but basically.
It's nice. Wouldn't it be great, man, if you lived in a country and you literally can't afford water, but they are sending millions of dollars to fucking Houthis to just bomb random ships and that are sailing by? Like, bro, this is crazy. It's almost like they're part of like a religious extremist holy war, and they want the downfall of Western civilization or something. Now, I am not saying that it's a holy war and it's a radical religious extremist group or anything, because that might be labeled as Islamophobic. They're Muslims. It was a Muslim doctor. Evolving into direct challenges against Ayatollah Khomeini, protesters in cities like Tehran, Shiraz, Isfahan clashed with security forces. Literally, dude. Literally, bro. It's crazy.
And this is how it should be. It should be the people of their own country calling for regime change. And I'm completely for this, because these people are actual dictators who actually abuse their people. Who do all the things that people keep saying that American president's going to do, or even some European presidents might actually be.
Actually wild. Bro, why don't we let them in as refugees? Bro, are you insane? Why do we let them in as refugees? They can change our culture with their food. The delicious national food of Iran. Air. I hear that they have a pretty great supply of air over there. They'll
hey,
enhance our
Mr.
culture.
Buzz Up, thanks for the follow.
No, let them take their country back. Make Iran Persia again, all right? With women defying hijab rules, crowds invoking the exiled Reza Pahlavi. He was the exiled prince who urged them to seize the streets. Right groups report 16 to 19 deaths in the IRGC fire since December 28 and killed, including 4 in Malakeshi on January 3rd, amid retaliatory fires at regime sites. These are the biggest unrest since 2022.
Retaliatory. With
heavy scrutiny, signs of strain. Like a police officer burning Khomeini's portrait. The police are turning on them, bro. Dude, look at this. People are saying it's just a little protest. Oh, they're just protesting the currency. Yeah, they're just protesting the currency, guys. They're literally overthrowing the government. They're like actually cooked. Like, pay attention. So first, let me show you So this is what's going on in Iran. All right, this was a police officer that lit this entire billboard of Khomeini, the dictator, the supreme ruler, on fire. Right. So this is going on in Iran. You ready to see what's happening in London? You ready to see what's happening in London? You ready to see what's happening in London? Choose the right side of history. Iran. With Palestine flags and shit. Isn't that nice? Oh my god, bro, how are we so
And this is why we're retarded in the West. You see people taking their countries back from dictators. That's what you want to see in a dictatorial situation. And then you have people here in England saying choose the right side of history and holding up the Ayatollah. Like saying that they should leave them be, let them stay in power. I understand being against any Western intervention, of course, 100%. Be against that. Whether it's for the right reasons or wrong reasons, I, for the most part, very much against Western intervention as much as possible. But choosing the Ayatollah over the people that he subjugates is lunacy. You could only see this from fucking bored-ass, overprivileged, lofty existence honkies in the West. Like, look at this. Look at this. This guy has to be a plant. Like, especially as fast as some of these protests spring up over fucking everything. It's lunacy. Oh, and you want to know who came out against Venezuela, the whole Venezuela situation? Russia and Hamas. Imagine that. His buddies are mad that he got.
So cooked, bro. Why is the left and the West so absolutely, unbelievably, undeniably cooked? Holy crap. Like, these guys are always on the wrong side. Bro, these guys will support every terrorist ever. Bro, it's like, These guys really sitting there being like, actually, Trump kidnapping a dictator communist is an international war crime. But Hamas kidnapping 300...
And shit like this is why, look, I'll never be a Republican. I'm sorry. I know a lot of the people who watch me are some sort of pseudo-Republicans, or at the very least moderates. I'll never really be one of you. just because it's not going to happen. But this is why I can't fuck with a lot of people on the left anymore anyway. For one thing, they keep running off their friends because they're not pure enough when it comes to the ideology. But some of them have gone this far, and let's notice it's mostly overprivileged, bored white people living off mommy or daddy's money. Let's be real honest. That's why they have all the time to do this, or they're getting paid by one of X amount of groups.
Jews is a just act of resistance. Like, literally, this is the bullshit that you have to deal with over here. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's almost like the left is always on the side of the terrorists or something. So
Seems
yeah,
to be.
this is videos being sent from inside Iran, mind-blowing protests, and this is shocking. And they're doing this just to piss off the Islamic retards.
And I'm here for it, 100%.
Exclusively for atheist republics from Mashhad.
Right? He can't show his face, obviously, or the regime will kill him.
Yeah.
Thank you, Armenians and Iran. Thank you, Donald Jr. Trump, for taking us.
Donald Jr.
Donald
Trump.
Jr. Trump, bro, they're trying.
Trump.
Fucking Maduro. Oh shit, they're coming. I'm Israel Chai.
So, Am Yisrael Chai means the nation of Israel is alive, right? It's what the Jews say, basically. Bro, so this dude really pushed all the buttons. This dude pushed every single button possible. He goes in there, he's like, fuck Maduro, Am Yisrael Chai, praise Donald Jr. Trump. He shuts off the camera. Holy shit. I mean, I agree. Now stay in Iran and make Iran better or something. Like, we appreciate you. We don't want you here, but we appreciate you immensely. Take your country back. So Iranians are taking over entire cities. The Islamists are in the run in Hamadan.
Good.
Is the regime gonna fall? Spoilers, yes. Dude, a lot of people keep telling me, it's just a lot of people protesting. It's like the gay Palestine protests in the college campuses in the United States. Bro, this is not a gay college protest. Yeah, not
Yeah,
gay.
no, this is not protesting, okay? This is these are riots, and this is probably revolution. We'll probably see very soon, within a very short amount of time, that this is going to be revolution, 100%.
Hey, not gay. Breaking. The situation in Fulashtar is deteriorating fast. Islamic terrorists are gunning down unarmed Iranian citizens in the street. Insane. Literally insane. Yeah, obviously I can't show this footage on YouTube. But it's wild. Like, actual life and death stakes. Like, it's wild, man. The Iranian are mostly funny and peaceful people. True. The Iranian, like the Persians, are for the large part, and they're educated. Highly educated, intelligent, peaceful people. Unironically. And they were literally just conquered by these savage radical Islamists. So anyway, Islamic terrorists gunning down unarmed Iranian citizens in the streets. You're gonna tell me that this shit is it's just so frustrating to me watching like the media be silent about this. You know, the media keeps telling us that actually America's the problem, right? America's bad and America's evil and America's fascist. Meanwhile, here you have a occupied government from an actual fascist Islamist regime gunning down protesters in the street. All right? And the left calls us fascist and supports them. Literally. Oh my God. So this is Iran. Look at the traffic in Iran, dude. And protesters are just like absolutely tired of this. Like, we're just taking our country back and there's really nothing you can do about it. Actual standstill. Insane. Dude. Actually insane. The streets of Elam
crazy.
are a war zone. This is the province where they have reports that citizens armed and formed a militia.
Sorry, I'm just kind of sitting here.
Citizens formed a
amazed.
militia against the Islamist conquering occupational force. Whoa! I mean, this is normal in Chicago, but this is not normal in Iran. Protesters destroy IRGC Basij HQ in Neyriz, Iran. Dude, this is crazy. They're like actually destroying military bases. Protesters are actually destroying military
Like I said,
bases, bro.
revolution.
This is Iran
Oh, is that Tommy
7076.
Robinson
For real, for
posting
real.
that?
The Islamic terrorist regime invaded a hospital in Elam to
I shouldn't
abduct and
follow
murder
Tommy
injured
Robinson.
Iranian citizens. Yeah, literally, where's the UN? Where's all the condemnations? Yeah, crazy, man. Can't really see anything.
Oh, I
but
already am. Okay, good.
insane, bro. Insane that we're just letting this happen. Letting this happen. Letting this happen without protests, I mean. All right?
Yeah.
Literally. Like, think about how insane this is. All the protests that we have in America for Palestine, man. For Palestine. The guys that started a war and lost miserably. All right? They're protesting for these guys. They're not protesting for, like, this is a literal occupied country of 70 million people under the boot of radical Islamists. Silence. No one cares. Because actually the jihadis are on their side because they also hate the West. It's all just a ploy. All right, the leftists in the West just hate the West, and they'll use Palestine, they'll use radical jihad, all right, they'll use any of that shit to their advantage to destroy Western civilization. That's why the communists, the gay communists, and the radical Islamists are able to ally up. That's why they're besties, because their ultimate goal is just very aligned. So for them, they will not protest for the people of Iran. Protesters have taken control of Hamdan, the holy city of Qom, 150 kilometers from Tehran, largely under their control. Bro, they're taking cities! I showed this clip. Insane, man. Just crazy. Huge crowds in Tehran. That's the capital. Oh, that's going to go hard. That's going to be wild. Bro, they're actually taking back the entire country. And so one of the major forms of protests that you're seeing in Iran is not just like a whole lot of people. All right? It's not just like a gigantic uprising of people, burning down military bases, telling the government a big fuck you. But this is truly insane. This is part of the protests. Women burning their hijabs and dancing in public. This, for the record, for those of you that are unfamiliar with Iranian law under the current
those are both
Islamic
crimes.
terrorist regime, this is two crimes. The crime of a woman being in public with her head uncovered, and the second crime of dancing in public. These are two major jailable, if not killable, offenses. And, in fact, even having opinions about this might get you in jail. Like, literally, the entire crowd is just cheering for her bravery of dancing in public. And she burns her hijab. This is what we call women empowerment, all right? This is the Free the Titty Rebellion we've always been...
Hold on. Is this person... Let me know if this person's retarded. People think $10,000 a month is freedom. After tax, it's only $87.50. Rent $2,400 a month. Where do you live? Where does Mike Scully live? It's not showing, but this guy he's fucking retarded. 10. Okay, so this guy's a piece of shit. Here he's very clearly hiring Filipinos who for $500 a month. Perfect English, work harder than you, very respectful, loyal. And you pay them $500 a month. Piece of shit. No, and I completely agree that they will probably work harder than most Americans, probably even me, but... Sorry, I know this is a complete side tangent, but I tend to scroll. But anyway, $2,400 a month in rent. That's a pretty damn nice house in almost every state. Like I live in Texas in one of the bigger cities. For this, like that's a good mortgage. If you're paying this much in rent, you live in a pretty nice upscale house or apartment. $300 in bills, that's unrealistic. If you're paying that much in rent, that's at least just your AC cost alone, especially in the South. $1,100 a month in food. My God, like if you're a family of 6. $400 in social gifts. $2,800 in travel. That's a lot of travel. You travel too much, my dude. $1,000 in shopping. and $600 investing. You saved $150. $10,000 a month is survival. Change your goals. This is an elitist fuckwit. He's putting you out of business. He's like one of those guys on those commercials back in the 90s. Remember that Asian dude on the boat with all the bitches? He's just like, hey, I rich. Why you no rich? You poor. He's basically that guy.
And we've always been looking for. And another couple of women throw their hijabs in. Where are the feminists? Where are the feminists in the West? Oh, the feminists in the West are arguing that men should be able to go into women's bathrooms and rape women in women's bathrooms and women's prisons. Feminists in Iran are literally lighting their hijabs on fire and dancing in public at the threat of death. All right? Also, no fat women in Iran. It's pretty weird how that keeps happening. No, but the reality is, like, this just goes to show you how hijacked the feminist movement is. It isn't about women's rights. It's about control of Western civilization. The sooner you know that, the faster you will be wise. All right? That wisen up, motherfuckers. Literally wisen up. Feminism is not about women's freedom. Not today. Feminism is about control. A woman in Iran removes her hijab in defiance of Islam and the mullahs. Look at that, man. The fact that this is even controversial is insane. The fact that this is even controversial is absolute insanity. Like,
meanwhile, in the West, you have people putting hijabs on in solidarity. I will never understand this. The feminists in this country have fought for years to be able to show as much or as little skin as they wish, to be able to dress as they please, and now they're putting on hijabs. Life is stranger than fiction sometimes.
she can be killed for this.
We are beyond parody.
So this is a young woman in Iran dancing in public. Notice how they censored her face, because this is a
they will literally arrest her and possibly
like,
kill her.
They could literally kill her for this. Oh my god, a woman dancing in public with her hair uncovered in public. So yeah, and they're literally they're doing, this is their protest. No Frogans in sight. Dude, it's actually unbelievable.
Frogan doesn't
man.
have this much
it's
energy,
crazy.
let's be honest.
It really is. It's absolute insanity that this even needed to be said. But yeah. Imagine this being a form of protest, because under the current regime, they would execute you if you do this. Do you understand how crazy that is? Bro, again, where the fucking leftoids? Where are the leftoids, man? So now I wanted to show you this clip. I saved this as one of the final clips of the Iran protests, because some Iranians, they have balls of steel, cojones of iron. God damn it. Holy shit. This dude goes up against an entire group of Islamic police force, right? The Islamic police force for the regime, with a homemade flamethrower. Bro!
Oh my god.
Yo! And dude escaped. He got away. Oh my god.
That's crazy.
Gotta be the craziest fucking thing I've ever seen. He sprays
Speaking
them
of
with alcohol.
Remember when Elon Musk
this, bro, this is the crazy
had
move.
those whole
This is like an
lot of
anime
flamethrower
character.
things?
DIY anime character. He sprays them with alcohol and he ignites that shit. And he makes a homemade flamethrower and he gets away from like an entire platoon of Islamic radical jihadis.
Crazy.
Oh my god, that's crazy. So yeah, that clip's insane. So Iran nationwide are actually raising the lion and sun flag in the streets. This is a crazy act of defiance. This lion and sun flag was the flag of the Persian regime.
Really?
That was right after the IRGC stabbed the protester to death. Yeah, I obviously can't show you any of that footage, but there are multiple videos of just like the actual police, the Iranian police, just stabbing protesters to death, shooting them and killing them, just firing live rounds into crowds. Again, every form of possible violation of all forms of civic rights, right? But no one cares. Literally, it's not even in the media. The media doesn't even give a shit about this, especially the leftist media, which doesn't even talk about this. And that's why his channel gets demonetized. Fair point. That's why you should support me on Patreon. All right? All my Islamophobic videos get blasted by YouTube, and that's why you could support me on Patreon. That would be very appreciated. You get nothing in return, to be clear, and it's not obligated, but it's very appreciated. But next, what about international law? International law is fake, bro! International law is not real. International law is so that the countries with nukes, all right, can bully the countries without nukes. All right, that's what international law is. It's fake. Call the international police, okay?
Yeah.
Holy crap, bro.
I mean, isn't that pretty much us? Weren't we pretty much funding that?
This is awesome. International law is fake and gay. Exactly. So they're actually raising the lion flags in the streets publicly. This used to get them arrested because, you know, there's no freedom of speech in, you know, Islam-occupied Iran, obviously. So this is crazy. Now, Israel has been memeing really, really hard. And this is because like, bro, they're out there with like Iran flags and Israel flags, bro. It's crazy. It's just insane. So I have to show you this tweet. This tweet's crazy. So the former Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett, all right, he released this video. All right, and this is getting scary. He's sitting there. He turns over the hourglass. Oh my. Oh baby, time is running out. It's a Chad move. Now is the time. Absolutely diabolical, if I do say so myself. And then they actually dropped a countdown. They
not a big fan of Chads
like
in
a
general,
12-hour timer or something.
That's very Chad.
So we'll see what happens. It's gonna be hairy, whatever happens. But the time is running out. Anytime now. Now is the time. So yeah, anyway, fuck those guys. That's my analysis. My analysis is fuck those guys. I'm really happy that we don't have American troops on the ground in Iran. I'm also happy that the Iranian regime is being overthrown by its people. Yeah. Make Iran Persia again. And listen, Iranians, you've killed a lot of your protesters already, but don't forget what the boss said.
Very close. If they start killing people like they have in the past, I think they're going to get hit very hard by the United States.
Oh my. Oh me, oh my. You don't want to mess with President Trump. He's been known to capture at least one El Presidente a year these days. So I'll see you in the next one, ladies and gentlemen. This has been the downfall of absolute fucking retards. Subscribe for more retards. That's what we do here. Every day, lots of retards. My plan is to do more uploads a day these days because there's...
All right, and look, I want to spend a lot of time on the Tim Walz thing, so we're not going to get into that today. I meant to get on a little earlier so I could cover both of those. But let's be honest, it's hard for me to even be on time these days. So we're gonna go back into the Sargon of Akkad video from yesterday, and we'll push the Tim Walz this video here, as a matter of fact. We'll push that until tomorrow. Yeah, because I only got 20 minutes, and I want to cover a good chunk of it. So.
Fuck do you mean, but? Like, you're just like, no, not the brutal, illegitimate dictator. Sorry, what are you talking about? Like, sorry, Ed, I'm not upholding John Lennon's Imagine. I'm actually happy that a brutal and illegitimate dictator was fucking knocked out. But unlawful attacks like this make
100%.
us all less safe. Trump is giving a green light to the likes of Putin and Z to attack other countries with impunity.
This is one of the more retarded arguments I've seen. I mean, Putin pretty much already does what the fuck Putin wants. Putin attacked Ukraine twice. I mean, what was it? The Crimea River situation? Crimea? The river? Or the Crimea situation? Sorry. Crimea River's a joke I keep making. It's horrible. But no, the Crimea situation during, what was that? Was that the Obama days? And then, I mean, this new situation in Ukraine that's been going on since pretty much the first year of Biden's term. Putin does what he wants. Xi Jinping is going to do what he wants. I mean, you know, he's Winnie the Pooh. He's going to get all of his little forest friends to, you know, get all the honey that he wants. Oh, bother.
What year am I in? Is it 2021?
Yeah.
Ed, they've been doing that already. I don't know whether you've heard of the war in Ukraine. You fucking
It's kind of a big deal.
Which, in your defense, you may not have heard of. I don't know whether you're aware, but they're already doing that, mate. And for some reason, the US has been like, well, I've got this international law. I guess my hands are bound. I can't just do things. Everyone else can just do things. And, oh, well, we sanctioned Russia. So what? That didn't work. We're sanctioning this way. Okay, so what? They know you're going to just sanction them. I mean, Venezuela was being sanctioned. This isn't like coming out of the blue. Like, Maduro knew this was coming because he was being intransigent. But, okay, let's zip over to Vladimir Putin's response. This is amazing. It's unacceptable. It's an unacceptable violation of the sovereignty of an independent state, respect for which is a key principle of international law. Fucking.
You ever feel like you're being trolled? For Russia to say it's an unacceptable violation of the sovereignty of an independent state, respect for which is key principle to international law. Russia said that statement with a straight face. I'm sure they didn't say it with a straight face. I'm sure when he typed it, he was laughing like the Goodfellas meme.
What? Sorry? Am I taking crazy pills? Did you invade Ukraine or not? And the answer, I think, is yes. I'm not an international expert. I'll consult with Firas tomorrow. But as far as memory serves, I'm pretty sure you invaded Ukraine. Now, I'm not even saying that you should be condemned for that. Obviously, you should. But what I'm saying is, it's not about that. It's about what he's appealing to, or what the Russian Foreign Ministry is appealing to. When I am strong, when you are strong, I appeal to your principles because they're what you believe. I take away your I appeal to your notion of freedom. This is what you believe. When I'm strong, I take away your freedom because of what I believe. This is Frank Herbert's thing from Dune, right? Where this is so totally not what the Russians believe. They don't care about international law. No one else cares about international law. We're the only mugs caring about international law, and even then, that was only a fiction for as long as we were prepared to hold it up. And as soon as it becomes inconvenient, well, we can just dispense with it, right? Because, I mean, like, the situation in Venezuela is actually kind of mental, right? So, Venezuela has an unbelievable amount of oil. Unbelievable. I mean, as you can see, it's trillions and trillions of dollars worth of oil, right? But everyone's like, oh my God, Donald Trump's only going in there to get the oil. Yes, he's going in there to get the oil. This is the thing. I've heard a lot of people saying, oh, this is very neocon. It's like, not really. I'm not hearing any ideology. I'm not hearing any John Lennon's Imagine. He's not like, we're going to bring democracy to the Middle East. You know, the Venezuelans thought they had a democracy until a socialist took it away from them. Right?
And I will say, I am going to be following the Venezuela situation very as closely as my sources allow. If it goes quiet and nothing gets across for a long time. I also have friends who have family there, so I'm going to be talking to them quite a bit about this. But I am curious to see where it goes. There is a way that we can do this to where we benefit but don't overtake, right? To where Venezuela as a country becomes very wealthy with their oil reserves. We can, with just not really minimal, but with a fairly low effort when it comes to certain things, we can guide them to becoming the country that they should be. We can utilize our oil reserves to pay for the effort and also make them very wealthy. And then, of course, make an oil deal, hopefully to where we don't take over, and Venezuela sees a bulk of the profits for that. But we have to have good people in place, and that's the key. Who's to run it? I mean, who's to say what will happen if they do end up putting the person who actually won the election in power? But I don't know. I'm going to be following this very, very closely, just to make sure that we don't do what the West is prone to do in these situations.
Right. So you don't need to install a new system with the Venezuelans. All you need to do is knock out the tyrants.
Rich Westerners hate themselves because they've benefited from it.
There are millions of Venezuelans who are probably going to go back to Venezuela now and actually go back to their lives not being persecuted by the government. Right?
Hopefully that's
But this, what do you think that Venezuela was doing with this oil? Well, it was selling it to America's geopolitical rivals. Sorry, why would you want that? If you're looking at the map game, sorry, is it acceptable that a country so close to the United States,
and then using the money to live like a baller, the certain few, and this is always what happens with communist regimes. They almost always corrupt. this is what I don't understand of people who want to bring communism to a place like America. You already don't trust the government, and you want to give them full power over pretty much everything. Make it make sense. I can understand if we had, our government was perfect and we were going towards that direction, but it would happen naturally in that case. But then again, complacency is usually what leads to the rise of said people.
It's just selling oil to America's primary rivals. I wouldn't accept that if I was the one playing the map game. And so, as Venezuelans are like, well, yeah, the US is only interested in our oil, but Trump is at least honest about that. They're not coming here to, do moral things. They're just like, we just want to trade with you. And we would like you to stop trading the oil that we will give you money for with our enemies or our rivals. Yeah, that's perfectly sensible, frankly. And the thing is as well, right? I've seen a lot of, I've seen videos of the Venezuelans being like, oh, they just want our oil. Bro, why don't you want your oil? Right? What is wrong with Venezuela? Well, I mean, the answer is obvious, right? But you can look this up. Maduro, and I was watching Rory Stewart's podcast earlier just to get his take on this. And Rory Stewart, he begins it by saying, and he looks almost ashamed of himself having to say this, but he's like, Maduro shrunk Venezuela's economy by 80%. 80 fucking percent. Can you imagine shrinking your economy by 80% and not being lynched in the streets? Well, you would have to be a socialist dictator who had a total monopoly on everything for that to happen. But I mean, this is a great example. Since Maduro's rule began in 2013, Venezuela's oil production has had an approximate 65 to 75 reduction from peak production. The only natural resource they've probably got others, but like the main natural resource that Venezuela has is oil, and somehow the socialist dictator is reducing it by 75% to what? Deliberately immiserate you? Is this about climate change? This is mad. This is absolutely mad. It's totally impoverishing. So, like, when you get people like, oh, they just want the oil. Don't you just want the oil? Why don't you want this? Because you...
And look, I'm not going to say, because it really doesn't matter if climate change is real or fake. Okay? It doesn't matter. So either climate change is real, and we're going to pollute the earth to the point where the earth overtakes us. The earth's going to be fine. Let's be real. The earth's going to be fine, okay? At the very least, it'll do an etch-a-sketch and shake it till it's clean and start over again, okay? Or we as humans overstep and we just stop causing all pollution. We've somehow managed to convince the entire world to stop using these things that cause pollution. If we stop burning fossil fuels, I mean, it's just like what Billy Bob Thornton said on Landman. Do you know how much petroleum goes into? It goes into fucking everything. Not to mention, it's how we get things from one place to another. We don't have a sizable enough renewable energy source that we can replace it with. It's just not feasible. If we completely go off of fossil fuels, just like the left has wanted to do with stupid things like the Green New Deal, we will crumble as a society. And especially if just the West does it, that's a good way to make sure that the rest of the world eats us. It's absolutely ridiculous. They do not care. Okay, that would be like telling us in the industrial age, hey, you better stop or else this is going to happen in a few hundred years. Then no one's going to give a shit. Okay, natural human drive. It's going to overtake, as it has, and will continue to do so. Should we cut back? 100%. We should try to slow things as much as we feasibly can without destroying America and driving up prices for poor people. Most of these people don't give a shit because they're rich and they can survive it for a bit.
You will benefit from this. There will be some deal that some American oil company will come in and they'll say, right, we're going to pump this oil at this amount and you'll get paid this much and we're going to pump fucking loads of oil. So these are your expected returns on the oil. And they'll be like, oh, right, so we can actually make money out of this, right? That's what's going to happen. And that's probably going to help the poor, literally starving, impoverished people of Venezuela, right? That's actually going to help them. So I'm sorry, I just don't see where the negative comes in, apart from the fictional bullshit of international law. But my set of fictional principles. Fuck your fictional principles, right? The emperor has no clothes. They're not serving any use if they allow a dictator to impoverish an entire country.
Hey, just real quick, sorry, in the middle of his rant, I know. Newsom said something I agree with. California landlords are now required to provide working refrigerators and stoves in all rental units. I've never understood why people don't do this. They should be, if there's apartments made for single people, like an efficiency or something, I could see it being a small refrigerator. But if it's a big 2 or 3 bedroom place, it should be a real sized refrigerator to reflect the amount of people who will probably be staying in said place. I'm just saying. But look, I'm always one to give people their flowers when they do something good. This is good Newsom, okay? Okay? Because this isn't asking for too much. That being said, this will probably be the only time you ever hear me saying good Newsom.
And be a strategic liability for the West. These principles, it's literally from No Country for Old Men, where he's like, if the rule led you to this point, what was the use of the rule? That's literally where we are here. And so anyway, Trump is, as I said, just playing a map game here, right? And as someone who plays a lot of map games, I'm very familiar with this kind of strategy. It's the point in the game where you are much more powerful than your own allies. Because in the beginning of the game, yeah, you'll form a bunch of alliances with other moderate powers around you, and then you will start taking out enemies. And you will grow your power, and then when you've got 4 or 5 stacks that are just unassailable, you're looking around and going, right, okay, why do my allies only have 1 province? Why do they, one of them's got tin, one of them's got copper. I need these things. Why am I just allowing this? And you just go over it and you annex it. And it's like, yeah, it's brutal, it's mean. Unfortunately, it's the nature of the beast, right? And this is what Trump is doing. So he's looking at now Mexico and Colombia, and it's like, look, you better watch your ass. You literally better watch your ass. This is a message to your government. And these people who are still living in John Lennon's Imagine, the end of history with the rule of law and the equality of sovereignty, the liberal fictions from the 20th century that America was willing to prop up because it was the hegemon of the world, oh, these all make perfect sense. But now that's not the case. The world has changed. You need to get in line. Are you with China or are you with the United States? That's what the question actually boils down to. And so you need to decide, Claudia Sheinbaum. You need to decide, President of Colombia or wherever else, right? You need to decide. Because Trump is consolidating his geostrategic position, right? When he's like, well, we need Greenland for national security, and he's brought this up a lot. If I were Denmark, I'd be like, okay, well, let's talk about some sort of 99-year lease or something, right? Why don't we, Greenland's huge, right? So you don't necessarily need it all. What the parts of Greenland, like the bits under the eastern edge or whatever it is, that you think are touching Russia, why don't we lease those to you for 99 years, and we can talk about renewing it in 99 years, depending on how things go. Who knows what happens in 100 years, right? Where you can build bases, and we'll even allow you to do the mineral digging that we can't do because Denmark just can't afford it. And we'll take, say, 60-40 split or something like that. So everyone makes money, you get your security, and Denmark gets to profit from this without just being trampled on. But instead,
I agree with that.
I think they'll probably be intransigent, and Trump will just do it, right? Because he is consolidating his imperial position. Because America is the center of the Western Empire, and we need to just come to terms with that. Now, there are going to be a lot of people who are like, I don't like that. Okay, neither do I. It used to be that England was the center of the Western Empire, and I did like that. But that's not the case now, and you just have to come to terms with it. It is the fact that the United States is much more powerful than anyone else.
Yes.
And doesn't look like it's going away anytime soon.
Yeah.
Now, empires can rise and fall very quickly.
This is true.
Or they can literally last for 1,000 years. So, I don't know what to tell you, I don't know. I mean, in the case of the United States, honestly, it looks like it's got the potential to go the distance. Right? It's got a large body of manpower. It has a lot of money.
We definitely have the potential, but we have to have the leadership to take us there. America could be a 1,000-year empire, and here we are, what, 250 years into it, roughly? I mean, we'll see. We're about 1 year from our 250 years, I think. Something like that. Actually, shit, that's this year. It's this year. But we could go the distance. But it all depends on the leadership and the people. We have to come together. We have to, or we will not survive. A lot of people seem keen on making that happen. America has a lot of faults, but no country, no existing country in this world, or at least no strong country, that has the ability to say that they don't have any blood in their history that they caused.
Is in a very difficult to assail position geographically. Like, it looks like the United States could go the distance as an empire. So I personally have come to peace with this and have accepted that this is the nature of the beast. And for some reason, other people aren't. This is another example of how the United States and the Trump administration is just essentially ending the informality, ending the fiction of the rules-based order and saying, no, look, this is our project. We're responsible for it. Rubio cutting off the NGOs. So look, foreign aid will just go straight to national governments. As in, this is the money we pay them to just stay on board and do exactly as they're told. And why are we going through the NGOs? No, we'll go straight to the source, straight to the head guy, and he will act as a satrap for us in this province. That is what is happening. The formalization of the American empire. And again, like I said, you can object to this all you want. You can complain all you want. However, you will just sound like Ed Davey or Bernie Sanders or Jeremy Corbyn stamping your little feet while things happen around you that you cannot change. This is the nature of the beast. And we all just lived in this fiction where the emperor was wearing the finest new clothes until Donald Trump just turned around and said, no, he's not. I'm not just another country.
Sorry.
Among others. We're in charge here, and we are in a position where we need to really consolidate what we're doing, and so that's what's happening. He's just playing a map game.
And I completely agree with this. Look, overall, we have to come together. We have to have some kind of centrist mentality in this country, or just in the Western world, or the world at large in general, or we will not survive. Other people are making moves to dethrone us, so to speak. And they're using our own policies and such against us. We have to make sure that doesn't happen. We have to come together, the left and the right. A nation divided cannot stand. It'll only do the splits and then bust its balls on the concrete below. But that being said, ladies and gentlemen, sorry I couldn't get to the Tim Walz thing today. More than likely, I will hit that story tomorrow. Worst case scenario, I'll save it for the weekend show. And Nephilim Blue, I like what I'm hearing. Shit. Yo, thanks, bub. But we have to come together. But I will do the Tim Walz thing. If nothing else big comes out tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow. But especially if more information on the Tim Walz situation comes out, I may end up pushing it to Saturday, just because it looks like it could snowball into something else, because it is mixed with the Minnesota fraud situation. So that being said, guys, I appreciate y'all for stopping by. This is about the format of the show I want to do. I want to do the show for about an hour every day. You're ending... Yeah, dude, absolutely. Hit me up. I'm on all the things. Hit me up on X if you got it. But yeah, no, I appreciate you for the engagement. Hell yeah, thanks for the follow. But yeah, hit me up on X. I'm on. You see me on Kick here. I'm on YouTube. I'm working on getting back on Twitch, and then trying to get some follows on Rumble, so I can cut everything up. I'm gonna have the politics on Rumble, the gaming on Twitch. Kick will have everything, and then YouTube's gonna be withheld for just clips and stuff like that. Awesome. Yeah. Let me take a screenshot here. Yeah, dude, totally. I'll find you. But I appreciate the engagement. I got to get to my real deal today, but man, I hope to see you in future shows. I do it usually between 5:30 and 5:45. I start the show, and then I try to run it for at least 45 minutes. Depending on how much I have to say about the topics. Every now and then I'll put on a Nux video and end up watching more than anything else, but I'll comment a little bit because most of the things I would say is pretty much what Nux is saying, so with a few variances. But thank you for stopping by and all the engagement, and I will hopefully